Hey, this week on Chicago Beer Pass, Nick and I talk about our adventures to Sheffields, the Chicago Fire, and then we get ready for a little on-the-road trip for Chicago Beer Pass. All that and more on this week's episode.
Yeah, because, you get a cork popped out, boop, it just flies like fucking 10 feet. We're like, yeah, let's do it. The legend, Mr. Pete Crowley. I love Pete Crowley, man.
How's that beer? It's what you think it is.
It'll be like the stuff you hear. You ever go to, every time you go to Floyd's, all the music sounds like this. Raw, raw, raw.
Hey, and welcome to Chicago Beer Pass. My name is Brad Chmielewski.
Hey, I'm Nik White.
And we're back again with full beers and some empty cans around us.
Yeah, man. It sounds like another episode of CBP.
Right. So if you're new to the show, what we do on here is we drink some beer, we talk about drinking, and then we talk about drinking some more. We talk about our past drinking, and we talk about where we'll be drinking this coming week. Yeah. But we're always drinking local beer. Sometimes we dabble a little, maybe at 18th Street, Three Floyds, sometimes out in the suburbs. But today we're staying pretty close. We got some Revolution Galaxy Hero.
Yeah, man. Fist up, man. This is Galaxy Hero. This is the one of the beers that they made for the Chicago C2E2,
right?
Which is a comic expo, I believe, right?
Yeah, the Chicago Comic Entertainment Expo.
Yeah. So Galaxy Hero actually has probably the coolest of the heroes is because his head's a hop and he's in a spacesuit with the Chicago star on his chest of his spacesuit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And this is the first time this beer's been in cans. It's usually been only on draft. I think it might have been in bombers before, but this is the only time you've been able to pick it up in cans.
Yeah.
And I think they said something like this is pretty limited. This isn't going to be all year round beer or anything like that. So. Yeah,
and I'm guessing that Galaxy Hero refers to Galaxy hops, right? And then
would make sense, right?
If you compare it to Anti-Hero, I know the Anti-Hero is really fun and tropical hops, and this gives you a little bit of that, but it's a little more dense, a little more earthy.
Yeah.
Hop profile, a little bit more bitter,
a little bit more aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah, and that too, and it's a little bit, higher.
Yeah, it's coming in at 7% too, so definitely Revolution's IPAs are pretty big.
Yeah.
They don't mess around, which I haven't been drinking much of lately. I've been gravitating to the pills and the pale ales, and as the weather's warming up here, it's kind of I want to survive all day. Which I'll get into here in a little bit.
Yeah, you don't just want to just hops exploding in your face. You just want to just mellow out.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is pretty good. We got 6-pack. We'll make our way through here. We've already, as we're sitting up chatting, we've already made it through almost one beer. So if you're watching the video, you can see us pound these beers very quickly. But should we jump into this past week and what we made it to?
For sure, man.
You want to start it off? Go for it.
All right, I'll go for it, man. What do we do? God, here I am all excited about going for it now. I'm tongue-tied. No, all right. So I went to a couple of events this week, man. I went out to Michigan State, Indiana.
Okay.
And every year they do the Blue Chip Casino does an annual brew fest. So the 6th annual brew fest is coming up. So every year what they do is a little preview event, right? They have a steakhouse at the casino. So they'll have 10 brewers come out, and then they'll have the steakhouse pair food with those breweries, right?
Okay.
So just kind of, and then they invite some guys to come out and say, hey, this is what we're doing. Get excited about the beer fest.
Nice.
Now the beer fest is same day as Dark Lord Day, and they're drawing about 2,500 people to Northwest Indiana to Michigan City. Right.
That's not bad. Okay.
Yeah. So this was actually, and what I like about, and we talked about it before, what I like about going out to Indiana is that, it's just over the border, but there's a lot of breweries over there that don't make it here, and it's not that far if you're looking for a change of scenery and completely different.
Is over there. We talked about that recently.
Yeah. So I hung out with the guys from New Oberfalls. So Dan,
Don't even.
yeah. So what and the reason I know them is because like they were part of that homebrew circuit, like the Juan Kim events where they were underground beer
The original
series.
brouhaha.
The original brouhaha, not this, not this ripoff at the Bridgeport Arts Center, And Dan was one of those guys that kind of made the leap to pro, along with like Spiteful and Rude Hippo and 18th and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Right? So I hung out with him for a long time, and he was showing me a lot of his cans and bottles, and he was saying how a lot of his cans are drawn by the same guy that does some of the Spitefuls. Not Spiteful, but Pipeworks.
Pipework stuff. Okay.
Pipeworks stuff, yeah. So he's got a nice setup going because he's got a lager as his flagship, but then he dabbles in a black IPA, and he's also got a stout as well. And you know who else I saw? I like the Triton guys. Triton are Indiana, Indiana staple. They're in cans. They had a cayenne pepper IPA.
Ooh, interesting.
Which I dug, yeah, because it leans on the side of like vegetable peppery, flavor.
Not like hot, like
Right,
burn your mouth.
not like a violently hot, just kind of tickles
Okay.
with pepper spice, And then I talked to the Central State guys. So Central State is a Brett focused Indianapolis brewery, right? A Midwest exotic brewery, they would describe themselves.
That's their like tagline or what they're calling.
It's kind of dope,
Exotic brew. That
Yeah.
sounds a little risque.
Yeah, right. So they focus on on Brett beers and sour beers, and they did the collaboration Whiskers with Off Color,
Okay.
which I took a silver at FOBAB in the for like a wild beer category. Oh, but I was telling him, I'm like, hey man, I dig sours because we're around beer all the time, we drink it all the time, so we kind of like those flavors that aren't really typical,
Yeah.
in beer in the traditional.
You can't have a sour every day. Like it's not your go-to beer for most people. Like
Correct.
You have your Galaxy Hero, you have your pale ale, so that like
Exactly, your pale ales, your lagers, your IPAs, yeah. And I'm like, but dude, why is it that some of these sour beers, because I've had some that kind of remind you of cereal, kind of grainy. I've had some that like smell kind of like a little off-putting,
Okay.
Maybe like vomit a little bit, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, well, what the why that you guys do all bread beers? Why does that happen? And he's like, man, the longer you introduce those bacteria to the beer, the higher the percentage that you're going to get these off flavors. So tasting like cereal or smelling like vomit, for lack of a better term, those are off flavors, right? And he's like, hey, we've kind of dialed in our
sweet spot
our
of it.
yeast so that
Okay.
we can get maximum impact, but not have it exposed to the bacteria as long.
Okay.
He was kind of explaining it along
Interesting.
those lines. Yeah. So those guys are pretty cool, and yeah, I was really excited about being out there, man. This place is a William B. Steakhouse, and the guys who run it, they seem to be just enthusiasts of beer.
Yeah.
So they would just go around Northwest Indiana, hit all their favorite breweries, and they were also employees of this hotel. And then a meeting came up, and they said, "Hey, let's fucking have a party where we welcome everyone's here to have a festival in the parking lot."
I like that. I wish I had like a giant space hotel room. Like, let's just have a party. Let's do this.
Right, and then there's a casino there. It's a hotel, and these are old school guys, man. They're rocking like the 3-piece suits. They got the perfectly coiffed hair.
Okay.
They got the jewelry. They're they talk with their hands, that kind of thing. But they're really into like supporting small businesses. So, and that's not something I see all the time. I know that Horseshoe Casino has a fest like this, and then these guys. But as far as I know, those are the only two hotels and or casinos
Yeah.
that are putting on 2,500 people. That's a lot of folks.
That's a good amount, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a good alternative to the Dark Lord Day.
That's pretty good. So you were out there on Saturday or was that Sunday?
No, that was a weeknight.
Oh,
thing.
that was a weeknight.
Yeah,
Whew.
so that was just like right in the middle of the week.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was pretty good, man. What else did I do? Oh, and Shoreline Brewing is on the way out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Off the train. They're named after the train, right?
they're named after the train.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the train line.
Yeah, that train starts at Millennium Station right downtown.
Right.
And then it goes out there, right? So, hung out in there. They're Imperial raspberries in bottles. This is Imperial raspberry and wine barrels, right?
Okay.
And that's like one of their more popular beers. So I asked them what was the beer they were selling the most of on tap, and she said it was their Scottish ale.
Scottish ale.
which was
Really?
kind of surprising to me. There's a beer called Beltran. Yeah.
Okay, because we dog on Robert the Bruce
Yeah.
all the time.
All the time. Yeah. So, and then, you got a lager, you got an IPA, you got a pale. And I'm like, well, what beer are you selling the most of? She's like, oh, easily the Scottish ale.
What?
Which is, that kind of caught me off guard. So, yeah. So I hung out there and pre-gamed a little bit. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. And then I went to one more spot.
Okay.
I just went to Sheffields,
Yeah. For opening day?
No, not for opening day. I missed opening day. So
Okay.
I went.
Was that already like a couple weeks ago? Like, I see how much I know. Did that happen this last week?
No.
Okay.
Opening day was last week.
Ooh, all right. I thought so.
Opening day was last week. So I went a few days later because I'm like, hey, I wonder if they've got anything on, from because they had all 5 sisters on for opening day, and then they had like maybe 4 or 5 BCS variants. Goose Island did, right? Let's start there. It used to be the New Holland event, but lo and behold, Goose Island found their way in there
Yeah.
now.
Like, here's a little more money. This is our event now.
Yeah, what's it gonna take to get all our beers on? Yeah. So, I ran into Tim Faith, who's who's a buddy of mine who used to work at New Holland and now works at Goose. And
Okay.
he saw the transition. He's like, man, it's weird because that dude, the New Holland event was like 8 years running,
Right.
at Sheffields. And now this is the first year that that's a full Goose event.
That had to suck for New Holland, for Sheffield to be like, yeah, no thanks. We got someone else this time. Like, oh, damn, really?
Yeah, man. Goose is swinging their weight around, man. So they happened to be there. I wasn't going there for that, but I ran into Timmy.
Okay.
And then Brett Porter's there. And
All
I'm
right,
like,
random for like the event that happened like 2 days ago. Brett shows up late. He's
right?
like,
It's like a Tuesday night. I'm like, and I love Brett Porter. I'm like, so what's going on here? And apparently, they were there to welcome 4 Peaks Brewing, which is the 8th brewery that AB acquired.
Okay.
8th craft brewery that AB acquired.
is that brand new? That just happened?
That's the one that happened like last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was Devil Back.
Oh no, you're right. I'm sorry. It's Devil's Backbone.
Oh,
this was the
Four Peaks is the organic brewery
around the holidays. So this is the one before they acquired Devil's
Okay.
Backbone. You're right. I totally blanked on that. Yeah. Oh, so anyway, so apparently every time they acquire a brewery,
They go to Sheffield's for dinner.
they go to Sheffield's and party. No, no,
I was like, what?
no. Goose. All right. So to welcome them into the family, like they come to Chicago, and Goose is the receiving brewery. So then Goose shows them around their brewery, and then Goose probably takes them out for drinks at one of their favorite spots.
Okay.
And then they just kind of say, hey, welcome, and they answer any questions they have, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So and I thought that was pretty cool. Like I didn't know this was a thing, So apparently, I was talking to these guys, and apparently, it's 10 Barrel that really had the most questions.
Right.
Because I think one of their co-founders bolted quickly after the sale.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the Devil Backbone people just stepped down
Did he
today
just step down? Yeah.
as we're recording this.
So when your brewery gets sold, you have some concerns. You want to know what it was like, and then Goose being the first one that happened to, they all come out, meet with Goose Island, and
Right.
then and then party.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just happened to be there for that. Like that wasn't intentional.
Oh, that's cool.
That was pretty cool. I did learn a few things about what's going on at Goose. Apparently, their brewery's been closed for like a month and a half. The Fulton
Really?
production facility. Yeah. So if you go there now, all they have on tap is 4-star and Green Line and IPA. Basically all the stuff that they moved off site
Right.
because they went through some serious overhaul.
Was what do you mean, like equipment? Or
Yeah,
okay.
like they did some updates to the equipment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, we were just talking and hanging out. We were talking about the Toronto location. And, because Goose is, I think Goose has an eye on world dominance. So they're starting in Toronto and then possibly Toronto this summer and then possibly a Singapore location next summer.
Then I bet we see a London or England pub
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah. So,
China's probably on this docket too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, it's a huge market, There's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people in
A
China.
lot of people in China. Yeah, it was interesting to catch up with him. They were talking about playing with a beer that infused electrolytes in the 312. So yeah, so
Salt? Put salt. Electrolytes have salt.
Electrolytes are salt.
Yeah.
All right, is that it? That's just salt. I don't
think
know.
it's really just salt.
So they were kind of saying that, hey, 312. Well, you know how like Goose is like a fixture at all these marathons, right? Like all these outdoor events, right? And one of the coolest picture at the Clybourne pub is, there's this lady on the wall with her little participatory trophy and a flag over her, and she just finished this race, and she's got this smile from ear to ear, and she's got this, she's got a cup of beer in her hand.
Yeah.
And that's what they all do, So they're saying, hey, let's look at maybe fusing these two worlds a little bit,
So salt. They want to put salt in their beer.
I love how you just like reduced it to just being salt.
That's what electrolytes is. It's like basically
I believe
salt.
you. I believe you. Yeah. This is I'm not a scientist, man. I've said that before. So I'm not sure what the fuck they mean by electrolytes, but it sounds like they're adding salt to 312.
All right.
That's what it
So
sounds
basically margarita 312, right?
Oh, man.
Limeritas.
You kidding me?
312 Ritas. 31 Ritas?
I'll give this I'll
Rita
give this
1-2s?
I'll give Rita 312 would be good. I'm down to give this 312 a solid chance, but let's be honest, after like one or two of those, you probably just want to move straight to the margarita version of the 312. So I'm ready for that.
Okay.
I'm ready for that. But yeah.
That's a pretty solid weekend there for you.
Yeah. Oh, and they were saying like, while the brewery was under renovations, right?
Yeah.
That a lot of the brewers spent that time going to the other breweries that had been acquired.
Oh, okay. Just kinda checking them out and answering questions and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe just just getting a scoop on what they're doing, that kind of thing. So
nice. They were in the salt mines.
and researching salt for the.
So I made it over to a Chicago Fire game.
Yeah,
but
the local soccer team, MLS.
But before this, we were taking the bus out there. It picked us up at Sheffields. Was going to be the spot, and we need beer for the bus, of course. Like and
it's a long ride.
My thought was, I don't want to pick up a 6-pack and then we have to maybe there's 4 of us. Like, there's one extra. Like we have a couple 6-packs and they're getting warm. I'm like, let's go to Corridor and get some Crowlers. We'll all have a Crowler.
Which is a really good option that you don't think about right away if you're near that area, like Sheffields, Wrigley.
So this
Corridor's a great option.
32 ounces. It's a half growler.
Yeah.
There's a Crowler. And this worked out perfectly. I picked up 4 of them, all of us. They were $10 each.
How does it work with the Crowler? Do you just like you look at the board, you pick a beer, and then they
fill it up,
and they can it for you?
Yeah. So I went 2 pails and 2 pilsners. Mm-hmm. Knowing that this was like 1 p.m. like we were going until we got back around 8 and probably go out for dinner after that. So it was a long day, so we got to keep it try to keep it under 7%.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that.
So that worked out well.
We're not young.
No, not too young. Yeah.
We got to space it out a little bit.
Yeah, if I was really young, I would have got 2 Crowlers for myself. But it's just gonna be warm. Like the last little bit on the bus ride, we're like getting off the bus because it was like the perfect time frame as you're finishing up this giant can. Like I'm getting off the bus. That little bit was kind of like, yeah, this is a little warm.
I hear that. What made you go out to the ballpark that you hadn't been before?
I went once for small bar division. Had like a friends and family day. We all took the bus out there. So this is my second time at the Chicago Fire game. Buddy, a huge soccer fan, so he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna get tickets. Anyone want to go? They just pick you up and they break you back. Like this is all right, sure.
Let's roll.
Yeah, so it's not too expensive, like about $20.
Yeah,
for a ticket and a bus ride. Like that's sweet. So that was a solid afternoon. And then at the Chicago Fire game, they had Goose Island Pills, the 4-star.
Oh,
Pills.
the 4-star Pills. Mm-hmm. All right. Which they got in Tall Boys now.
Yeah, so we were drinking on draft.
Yeah.
So we were getting cups of that for $10 each, I think. So go from a crawler for $10 to 12-ounce 4-star pills for $10.
I think you're gonna see a lot of 4-star pills being smashed around the city this year. Yeah.
But it was a good afternoon. I think we had a 2 or 3 beers there and just Lots of yelling because we're in the general admission where the band is, and lots of like you
Wait,
don't sit down. You just
wait. So they got a band? What are you talking about?
Yeah, they have like a band, and
Really?
then they have like dudes chanting, and so you're just like yelling these chants like they're not hard, so you pick them up within seconds about like Chicago Fire being the best, and then they lost.
I was
I was told if they win, the bus stops and gets beer.
Really?
But if they lose, nothing. We go back home.
So you had to just go back home.
Yeah.
All right.
So that was tough.
At least you had your corridor fun.
Yeah.
Pre-game.
So we didn't have any beer for the ride home. That was the only downside here.
Yeah.
I don't know how you fix that if on the way there you also have a little cooler that you keep under a seat and then you get off the bus.
Yeah, or some pony bottles of whiskey or something.
Yeah, maybe just do whiskey.
Just hit somebody up for like a little cup with a couple cubes of ice in it.
Right, yeah. But when we were in the parking lot, there is an old ambulance.
Yeah.
It's like a Chicago Fire ambulance.
Uh-huh.
And they have Corona Light on tap.
There you go.
And like $10 all you can drink.
Oh, man.
So I feel like that's a good deal if you get there early enough.
Yeah.
It's like sweet, $10. But it's like, I can go for like one Corona Light.
And then you're probably tapping out after that.
Yeah, like I gotta get to this game, man.
You're like, thanks for the Corona.
But I think they have like a beer bong you can do that I'm told is like pretty dirty and not that clean, and the lines, yeah. So we passed on this.
They are partying way too hard down at Toyota Park. I think that's what it's called, right?
Right, it is.
Yeah.
But that was a fun afternoon. Then came back, went to headquarters and DMK for some food. So
For sure.
yeah, solid day of drinking. That was when you travel and drink, that's a lot going on.
Don't I know it?
But yeah, that's all we did this past week. In this great city of Chicago, there's all these places to drink and go to and just have fun at. So
Yeah.
should we get into this coming week and what's on the calendar?
Yeah, let's see what's going on here, man. Let's see. You want to start at how does Wednesday work for you? Wednesday, 420.
Sounds good. 420.
Shout out to Lagunitas.
Yeah, there's gonna be lots of Lagunitas events.
There's gonna be a ton of Lagunitas events around town. I know they're for sure doing the skunk bus, right? You can totally look that up. It's just gonna make random stops, and it's a school bus. You can hop on it anywhere you want.
Yeah.
Reddy's Rock Bar is gonna be a spot, and there's gonna like 3 or 4 other spots, and then it'll find its way back to the brewery for sure. And those guys, they do what they do.
Right.
Yeah, that's on Wednesday, 420. Also on 420 is the Maine Event. So at Clark Street Ale House, Lobster, the Happy Lobster, which is a local Chicago lobster truck that flies in their lobster and they bake their bread here daily.
Okay.
And then there's also Allagash, which is a northeastern brewery. They're getting together to have an event at Clark Street Ale House.
Oh, okay. What time's that
at? This is going to be at 420 at 6 p.m.
At 6 p.m.
Yeah,
okay.
so Clark Street Ale House doesn't typically have food, but the lobster truck will be there for lobster, and then Allagash is going to have 3 of their beers there, like Curio, and then the White, obviously, and then like 1 other beer.
Do they have lobster going till they run out?
Yeah, they're going to, and I've been to this truck. The lobster grilled cheese on the Happy Lobster is top flight.
Okay. Cool.
I've had it at Emporium a few times.
We may be in the area tomorrow, so I might check that out.
Yeah, I don't get down there as much as I should, but I like that space.
I haven't been to Clark Street Ale House in a long time.
Long time, maybe like once a year.
Mm-hmm. It used to be the only spot to get craft beer in the River North area.
Isn't that wild?
That was the only spot you could even think about going to.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, let's go grab a beer. Oh,
Where are we going?
There's this shitty Irish bar that you get Guinness and some Harp and Miller Lite, or there's Clark Street Ale House. That's it.
Clark Street Ale House, I would say, is one of those spaces that has been waving the flag for these beers before it was cool.
Yeah. All right, I might check that out
For
after we do our thing down in River North.
Yeah, man, we're should we
Should we tease it here? So we're gonna do a little Chicago Beer Pass on the road. We're gonna test this out, see what this sounds like, if it works.
Yeah,
we're gonna do a little bar crawl.
For sure. Yeah, I think we got River North eyed as a neighborhood, and some of these cool bars that we've been hearing about. We're gonna hit them up, talk to people, drink a little bit, and then just and roll.
Yeah.
You know.
So probably like 30 minutes at each spot. We'll probably do like a little intro going into this place.
Yeah.
Sit down there, talk about the beer we're drinking.
Yeah.
Maybe try to grab someone and find out why they like the spot.
Like, hey, come here. Just like,
Hey, come here.
just pull his shirt.
Come
like,
talk to me.
Get over here.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what it's about.
Yeah.
Get over here.
So we're gonna be doing that. So look for that like as a bonus Chicago Beer Pass episode.
Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and hit the road.
And if you like it and it sounds good, we'll do more of them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that's all I got for Wednesday, 420.
Okay.
All right.
Thursday I saw at Villains
Yeah.
is Meet Jester King.
The new and improved villains.
Yes.
Yeah.
Across from the old Villains.
Yeah, right across.
I've been there, had dinner there once. The burger's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can go there, meet Jester King. They're rolling in for, like, basically like they do these like drops, kind of like just like we're rolling into town. Like we love Chicago, come meet us, try these new beers.
Yeah, for sure. And then you know, they're sneaky about it, and then like not sneaky about it like that, but no, but like if you go to you know, what's Christine's place? Where they do the Cantillon Day every year, the Zwanza Day. West
okay.
Lakeview Liquors. They always have Jester King there, and then a lot of people don't know that Ron is like he's got Chicago roots.
Okay.
So they do a lot of cool stuff there. Yeah, they're doing Jester King is in town for sure, man. That's Wednesday as well.
That's Thursday.
That's Thursday, and also Thursday, Maplewood Brewing Night up at Northdown Cafe. So Maplewood is a brewery and distillery.
Yeah.
So this will be a chance. You know, Chicago's busting at the seams, man. We're approaching 40 breweries just in the city. So if you wanna, like we've had the Charlatan Pale Ale on the show,
Right.
And if you wanna like find out about like one brewery in particular, you know, this would be a good night for that. They got 6 beers. They're gonna have cocktails with their spirits as well. That's gonna be up at Northdown Cafe.
40 breweries, huh?
Dude, it's rolling, man. I think they're like 37, 38.
Yeah. So if you thought about that, you could do something like every week having a new Chicago beer. Like by the time you got to the 40, there would already be probably like another 12
Probably
to hit
another
that
2.
52 weeks for you.
Yeah, we're about at the point where you could hit a brewery every week and not hit the same brewery.
What?
It's wild.
Crazy.
Chicago.
Yeah. Just in
Wow.
Chicago. It's not even that big.
It's not even including the burbs.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. Yeah, so that's Thursday. And then Friday, Jester King's going to be in town all week. So they also did a beer with the Local Option,
Yeah.
with a collaboration with Local Option. It's called, I've got it right here. It's called Dampf. It's called the Dampf beer. Dampf beer.
Okay.
So Dampf just equals steam beer. So basically it's a Bavarian steam ale, a Bavarian farmhouse steam ale. Right.
Okay.
So what they did was they got the cool ship, you know, and then they were down in Jester King. They had some of the microorganisms that are just there already,
Yeah.
kind of ferment the beer a little bit, and then they took it from the cool ship, put it in like traditional
Okay.
tanks with like hops.
Yeah. So
and
the
all
cool
that jazz.
ship is basically like it's a flatbed truck.
It's basically like a flatbed, you know, box. Right. And, you know, you just let your beer sit in the box
Yeah.
and it ferments with whatever is in the environment that the box is in.
Bird might poop in it.
You know, there might be spiders on the wall.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know.
No, yeah.
You know, yeah. So they take it like for sure for like a night. And then after that, they transfer it to like proper traditional like
It's
fermentation.
cool. It should be nighttime.
Yeah.
A little cooler, a little wetter, like, because the heat with beer, you know, that's just bad. So like, I think the sunlight, it's bad. So having that nighttime kind of attitude.
Yeah, and it's like, so they've got at Local Option, you know, Local Option has like 6 or 7 of their own beers on tap whenever you go there. And then for this event, the guys from Jester King are going to be there. And then also they've got collaborations. Apparently Jester King's been busy, man. They're going to have collabs with 18th Street, Side Project, Off Color, all on draft there. And then 14 Jester King bottles are going to be for sale there. And that doesn't include the taps, which are always ridiculous at Local Option.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Man, Jester King's doing a lot of stuff,
yeah.
especially here. I wonder how they are in other markets.
Yeah, right?
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So that's Friday. That's actually all I've got for Friday the 22nd.
All right. Yeah, I didn't see anything either about moving into the weekend.
Dude, this beer's really good. I'm just going to reload.
Yeah,
here.
Galaxy Hero. Grab another one. We're going to make it through this 6-pack here.
All right. So Saturday is a couple of events out of state. So we'll start with the Valpo Beer Rally.
Okay.
So cheers to Brewfest beer partners. I had lunch with Kurt Foreman today.
Oh yeah, Kurt's an awesome guy.
Yeah, I like Kurt, man. And then he does the well, I saw the episode on the Hopcast, but he does this this event up at the zoo up in Kenosha, Racine. Up in Racine every year, and now he's kind of expanded his empire. He's got like 7 or 8
I know, yeah,
festivals, right? And this is one of them. It's a Valpo Beer Rally. It'll be from 5 to 8 in Valparaiso, Indiana. They're going to spotlight 4 Valpo breweries and have 2 guest breweries.
Oh, very cool.
It's a $40 ticket, and it's right over the border.
Kurt, you got to come on, talk about these events. Let us know what you're doing.
Yeah, there's going to be like South Suburban events and South Loop events, and then there's a boat series that Kurt's a part of, and we'd love to have him come on the show for sure. Yeah, so Saturday is Valpo Beer Rally. Also on 423 is the Dairy State Cheese and Beer Fest up in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's going to be from 1 to 5. So
cheese, that's a smelly event.
Oh, that's gonna be rough. And then, but then the cool part, similar to Indiana, like if you go to Wisconsin, there's a lot of breweries up there that you can only get up there, and then that combined with a lot of cheese that you probably won't find around here, kind of makes it for a nice little trek, a nice little pilgrimage up to across the Cheddar Curtain there.
Cheddar Curtain, is that a thing? Did you just make that up?
Yeah, that's what they're calling it. Man. That's what they're calling it, man. That's from 1 to 5 up in Kenosha.
All right, very cool.
So, and we highlight a lot of these events because I know if you're city dwellers, sometimes you just want to leave Chicago, not go too far. But you go an hour, 90 minutes in each direction, you'll find a completely different experience. So I think that's why we highlight these events.
It's a good day trip kind of thing going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. So that's Saturday. Anything else on Saturday, or what about Sunday?
That's all I got. Sunday or Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. Next week, I know on the 27th over at Side Door.
Yeah.
Is the Against the Grain beer dinner. So we went to one almost probably a year and a half ago.
Probably about a year and a half ago, and we were able to go upstairs into the haunted dining area, and we enjoyed some beers from the really cool sour producer out in Indiana, Upland.
Yeah, so we may be there on our beer crawl tomorrow again, but check that out Wednesday. I think tickets are still available for Against the Grain.
Yeah, for sure. That's actually like a 5-course dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bo and Luke, which is their Imperial Stout, is going to be there, and that's about $85. I'd say if you're looking for something out of the norm to do. Yeah. Make your way down to this space, which used to be someone's mansion, that is now like a steakhouse.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That has been, dedicated some of their space to a gastropub, and they're doing a fucking 5-course beer dinner. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's it on the calendar right now.
Yeah. Oh, one more. Next week, Monday.
Okay.
Monday, the 25th. Bangers and Lace is doing a pop-up dinner at Temperance up in Evanston.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the Wild Game Barbecue dinner. So it's a $60 ticket, and they'll do quail, venison. They'll do wild boar, cheddar wurst. They'll have dessert. It's like 4 courses, and they'll do it all up in Evanston at the brewery there, which is a brewery we featured on the show. We went up there.
Yeah.
I think that was our first time on the road.
That was our first time on the road. And the Bangers and Lace recently opened in Evanston too. So.
Oh.
Or is about to, or it will be. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
So yeah, good week for if you're looking to drink in Chicago. Weather's warming up, so get out there, grab some beer. Before we get out of here, any beer news?
Little bit of beer news.
All right.
We'll start with the good folks at Hop Leaf.
Yeah.
So they have a collaboration every year with Perennial. They call it Hopfen Tea. So it started as just a beer just for the Hop Leaf, to have on tap there. But now they package it, and now they sell it all around town.
Oh, cool.
So Hopfen Tea is a Berliner Weiss with tropical tea added to it.
Nice.
Yeah, so that beer is going to be released this week. It's actually being released today, so if you make it over there, Hop Leaf, you'll see it there. Yeah. Bourbon County Stout on Nitro will make an appearance probably all throughout Chicago, knowing those guys, during Chicago Craft Beer Week.
Well, speaking of that, that's coming up soon, so check out the website, ChicagoCraftBeerWeek.com. chicagobeer.com.
Yeah, you're talking like maybe the second week in May.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're like about a month away from Chicago Craft Beer Week.
Jeez.
Barely survived that week.
God help us all. Dude, it's about to get serious around here. And finally, man, I hung out with the Lagunitas guys, man. And Lagunitas, they sold half their company to Heineken.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that Heineken is a family-owned company. They're in like the 5th generation of ownership over at Heineken. But no, I was talking to a guy like one of the sales reps over there, and he was telling me that 5 years ago they had 20 sales reps, right?
Okay.
And now today they have 170 sales reps. And then what I like about Lagunitas is that they take initiative to they have their own kegs. They don't wait for a distributor to kind of like, hey, go sell Lagunitas. Like they show up at the distributor's door and then say, hey, these are our training manuals and this is our training meeting we want to have with you.
Okay.
This is how you sell our beer. Like they're not fucking around.
Wow. Okay.
So I was talking to the guys and they were saying, hey, the reason they sold half the company is because they want to make it a worldwide brewery. And, Amsterdam, obviously, because that's where Heineken is, but then also Mexico, because Mexico is, one of their largest countries, to sell beer.
Uh-huh.
And apparently it's really hard to sell beer in Mexico. Like you and I just can't show up and say, hey, we got a brewery. Let's start selling beer, because they're really entrenched into their branding.
Oh, really?
Down there. So they sold half the company to Heineken so that they could have international footprint, essentially.
Interesting.
Right.
Okay.
So Amsterdam's going to be first. Mexico's going to be second. And then my question was, well, what's going to happen? Like, where is all this beer being made? And they're like, no, we're, Chicago. The original location is maxed out. Chicago is not maxed out. They got
That place is huge. They got room.
Yeah, they got room. They got room for almost 80 of these fermenters. Their fermenters are 750 barrels.
Dude, they're giant.
It's ridiculous space. Yeah, and then they're doing twin 750 barrel brew houses in the LA facility.
Okay.
And it's just south of LA in some town, right outside of Los Angeles. No.
Oh,
Way.
different. Oh,
the
it's
third
different
one.
A third one. Oh.
They're doing the third one. Yeah.
And that's just for Mexico.
That's just for Mexico. That's what it sounds like. Yeah. So it sounds like of the two that are up and running, Lagunitas breweries, and then this third one, that'll be all the space they need to, take over the world, just like Goose is trying to do, apparently,
okay.
right?
They're just trying to fight Goose, yeah.
So, yeah.
They keep celebrating these 420 days, they're going to forget where their breweries are.
I'm going to be like, oh, man.
We're in LA or
man. What are we doing, man? No. But, yeah, but in 5 years to go from 20 sales reps to 170.
Yeah.
And, they have a unique ability to, they were saying like Walgreens is a really big focus area for them, or some of these places where like the VFW, right, shit like that, where you go to a place and they freeze the glass,
oh, yeah.
and they're still selling old style on tap. Like Lagunitas has a chance to go kick in the door at those places,
Yeah.
and craft beer can follow. So they're in a unique space where they have a ton of fresh beer.
My dad likes the frosted glasses. I haven't really haven't broke it to him yet.
Yeah.
He probably shouldn't do that, but
Yeah.
that's
then-
fine. That's his thing.
Step one is freeze the glass and put a little something in it.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
See, and then step two is, Dad,
You don't need to do that.
there you go. So
I don't know where you're gonna store your glasses because you're just using your fridge as a cupboard.
Right.
But that's fine. But all right.
But yeah, that's it for news, man.
All right. Well, pretty solid week. Want to mention again, get ready for this extra episode. It probably will come up a couple days later with no video. We won't do video. We'll just kind of do.
Man.
Okay, I'm not gonna run around with a camera.
You got me excited. Oh yeah.
We need somebody following us with a camera, documenting our.
That's true.
That'd be kind of funny.
We need to go to
next step.
Yeah.
We'll do a Chicago day. I don't know, video drinking, or I don't know what we call it. But we're gonna try this first. We're gonna see how it goes. If it's even a thing, and if you guys like it, it's kind of spotlighting these places even more. So get ready for that coming before the next episode. There'll be this one or that one.
Okay.
But Nick, where can people find you when you're not here and not at a beer fest?
Right on, man. I'm on Twitter at Nicosio.
And I'm on Twitter at BRAD. Chicago Beer Pass is on Twitter at Chicago Beer Pass. Definitely been tweeting more there, sharing things as well. But the Facebook page is probably our best place to see kind of what's happening, get a lot of photos because we dump photos there.
Yeah, for sure.
That's /Chicago Beer Pass. And then the website, chicagobeerpass.com. All the episodes get posted there. Links to iTunes. Leave us a review. Love seeing those. And yeah, we got one more can of Galaxy Hero.
Shoot it, bro.
We're gonna get out of here.
Skull it, bro.
So thanks for watching, listening. Take care.
Cheers.